Thank you for hearing my testimony. Um, I know that Representative Smith reported rankings, and I went to the CDC's report on the state of health in Louisiana from 2011 to 2014. And what I found was in all of the areas spoken about today that are of concern, the incidences of these problems have decreased. So without the surveying and the violation of students' right to privacy, and without government intervention, these situations have been improving steadily since 2011. Now, anyone can access those reports, but the percentage is not just across the board for the population of our state. Those percentages also have decreased steadily for those same years for children aged 15 to 19. So there's different ways, as we all know, to report data. And I believe looking at the percentage of increase or decrease of these incidences is much more valuable and useful to the committee. As far as the law, Act 837 seems to be a problem, although the entire legislature unanimously passed it, and passed it because, as it states in the law, the right to privacy is fundamental for all citizens, and that would include children. And all of you legislators agreed that we're here, so I know I'm not telling you anything that you don't understand or believe. But the protections in this law are being either misinterpreted or overlooked, because the violation which triggers criminal penalties is not in if information is actually gathered, from children. The violation is in anyone who is an official or an employee requiring the collection. The violation is the requiring of that collection. So when anyone sits here and says schools can decide to do it or to not do it, Act 837 says no, they cannot decide to do it. Another thing that's very important where this law is concerned is sexual behavior or attitudes aside. This survey is almost 100% in violation of Act 837. If you look at the law, passed unanimously and signed by the governor, mental or psychological problems of the student or student's family cannot be asked of children in the state of Louisiana. Illegal, antisocial, self-incriminating, or demeaning behavior, questions related to that cannot be asked of children in the state of Louisiana. Critical appraisals of other individuals with whom a student has a family relationship cannot be asked of children in our state. Legally recognized privilege or analogous relationships, which would include with physicians, cannot be asked here of children. Gun ownership questions cannot be asked of children in the state of Louisiana. Questions related to all of the things I just named are in this survey. So I just hope that no one is subject to to penalties under this act, because I sure hope no one has decided at the school level or the state level to ask children these questions since 2014. Now, that's information that I believe has been being overlooked. And I would really appreciate you considering, of course. It's the requiring of the collection, whether anybody decides to give the information or not. This information cannot be required to be collected by any official or employee in the school system. The other thing that keeps getting overlooked in the law, and this is the last thing that I'll bring up, and I appreciate your patience, is that it doesn't say children can't be asked these questions unless there's an opt-in or an opt-out. It doesn't say they can be asked these questions only if it's presented voluntarily. It says they can't be asked these questions, and anyone who wants this information from children has to go speak to their parent and get it from the parent if the parent chooses to voluntarily disclose it. I didn't pass that legislation. You guys did. And we were extremely proud of the stance Louisiana took. And we have always said at the People LLC that Louisiana is the state who can lead the other states out of the mess that this country's in. And I believe you guys led when you passed the Student Data Privacy Act, which is, despite the changes made last session, it still is the strongest student data privacy law in the nation, well surpassing any protections that FERPA used to or currently provides. We did that. Louisiana did that. And I don't choose to follow the other states. I choose to lead them, and I ask you to do the same. Thank you.